Joining us today on another wrestling podcast is none other than an author. He's a podcaster, former head writer of WWF, WWE, WCW, TNA. He's also just happens to be one of the most polarizing and controversial figures in the history of professional wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute pleasure to introduce Mr. Vince Russo. Vince, thanks so much for joining us today.
Jonathan, you got to mention before we go on, just please mention former WCW world champion.
That is also true. You know, I wanted to get into that, but yes, an illustrious career for you, Mr. Vince Russo.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, what's going on? There's a lot in the world of wrestling that's happening today. And I feel like a lot of people bring you on the shows. You go on to kind of talk about the current state of professional wrestling, which we are going to do a little bit. But I actually wanted to rewind a little bit, go a little bit deeper, and kind of find out just more about you, Vince, and how you first got into professional wrestling. If you remember the specific moment. We know you watched it a lot growing up, and do you remember a specific moment, a specific wrestler, or anything that really got you hooked and made you realize that this was something that you would someday want to do?
That wasn't the case, Jonathan. I mean, I'll be honest. I wish I could tell you that was the case. That wasn't the case. I was a wrestling fan growing up, like I was a baseball fan, like I was a Kiss fan, I was a fan of many, many things. I just got into a situation in like my early to mid 30s where I needed a job. I had two video stores, bro, and, Blockbuster, came into town and they were putting me out of business quickly and I needed a job. And I mean, literally, I said, you know what? I was a fan of wrestling. That may be a cool place to work. I mean, bro, I would have definitely much rather have worked for, Major League Baseball or the San Francisco Giants. I mean, but I was like, you know what? This may be something. And that's the way I went about it. So, like, I never, ever had intentions of working in wrestling. Bro, once I got in wrestling, I never had intentions of being a TV writer. That stuff wasn't even on my radar. That's why I believe, man, everything happens for a reason. And like, all that stuff and my story was written for me long before I was ever here. But it was never, this dream of getting in the wrestling. I mean, it was never that.
Awesome. Well, once you finally, we kind of know that you're in there, you're in the wrestling business, you're writing, you're doing all that stuff. Today, we know that there are several shows that WWE is producing: SmackDown, Raw, NXT, all those shows. What do you think that their process is like today versus when you were doing it? We know that you basically, whenever you were writing by yourself until Ed Ferreira came on. So, like, what do you think that they're doing today that's so different than when you were writing?
Oh God, Jonathan, they have made the process so much more difficult than it needs to be, and I'll never understand that. I remember, man, when I almost went back in 2002, and the ratings were starting to go down in a hurry. And I remember Vince McMahon saying to me, "Oh, Vince, you have to understand things aren't the same. Things aren't like they were when, you worked here. They've changed." And I remember looking at him in 2002 and saying, "But Vince, they're not working. Like the way you change the system is not working." Bro, this is 2002. And 17 years later, it has been diluted even more. It has been polluted even more. They have made such a simple task so freaking complicated that it just blows my mind.
So we know that in the world of professional wrestling today, there's some alternatives. We have Ring of Honor, New Japan, we have AEW, which is a big, on the scene. So if you were to talk to them, you were talking to the alternative to WWE. What are things that you would be telling them to do right now to kind of separate themselves from what you see happening in the world of WWE?
Bro, it's so easy and it's so basic. I mean, bro, for whatever reason, like people have made the decision to not listen to anything I say. And bro, I'll be honest with you, that's fine with me. I am doing so well, bro, with my podcast. I mean, I've put a great team together, bro, of people that have been in the business. I'm on Patreon. I'm on the Realm Network. I mean, I've done. Thank God for podcasting, bro. I can be myself. I could say whatever the hell I want. I am doing great. So the fact of the matter is, quite frankly, like, I don't give a shit if you listen to me or not. I wish you would listen to me so the show would be watchable. Because, like, I've got to watch these shows, and I don't enjoy watching these shows. Bro, it's real simple. You've got to, bro, you've got to present a show for the masses. You want as many people to watch your show as possible. They're catering to an audience that they already have. Bro, here's a perfect example. Say every single day I eat Kraft macaroni and cheese. And once a week, bro, I go to the supermarket to stock up on Kraft macaroni and cheese. Bro, do you think Kraft is going to put together an advertising campaign to appeal to me? No, bro, they know I buy mac and cheese every single week, and I'm going to continue to buy it every single week. What they want to do, bro, is go out there and get new customers. That's what they want to do. Bro, all these wrestling companies, bro, they are kowtowing to an audience they already have. And I keep asking the question over and over, and I don't care if it's Triple H, I don't care if it's Cody Rhodes, I don't care if it's Tony Khan, I don't care who it is. I just want a simple answer, like, why? From a business standpoint, can you explain to me why you're catering to an audience you already have? Bro, that was the success of the Attitude Era. We knew we had the marks. They were going to watch the show regardless. We had to appeal to people that were either casual wrestling fans, casual television viewers, people that were on the fence about wrestling. We had to make wrestling cool to appeal to those normal people. And bro, like, I just keep asking the simple question, like, guys, like, why? Why are you catering to an audience you are? Nobody will answer that question, bro. And I swear, for the life of me, I don't, from a business standpoint, I don't understand it.
Well, we know that you're here. You're always willing to give your opinion, your honest opinion, which is more important about the world of professional wrestling today. If somebody told you tomorrow, hey, AEW, hey, WWE, whatever, we want you to come back, what are some good things that you actually see happening? I know that there's a lot of bad, but, whether it be talent or whether it be just something, the new stage design or whatever, what are some things that you would say, okay, I have these things to work with, this is good, and I'm going to change other things? Like, who are some of the biggest attributes you think that these companies have?
Bro, the talent. Bro, they have the talent rosters. My issue is never with the talent. Bro, if you gave me, an AEW roster, if you gave me a WWE roster, if you gave me an NXT roster, bro, I would work with every single person on that roster. Okay, bro, the only difference is I would get every single person on that roster over. That's the only difference. So, bro, the rosters, the problem is not in the rosters. The problem are the people, that are writing, the content, that are writing the television shows. That's the problem. The problem is not in the actors, bro. The problem is in the people, writing the play.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So when you see things like Kofi losing the championship just to give it to Brock, just so they can have this match in Saudi Arabia, why do you think that is what's currently happening? Is it just the writers, like you're saying, are so out of touch? We know that you were a fan growing up. Do you think that there's a lack of those people in there that they have
No, bro, not at all, bro. I think it is the old guard that all they know is wrestling, bro. They eat, sleep, drink, shit, wrestling. All they know is what they know. They don't have their pulse on the finger of society. They don't have a freaking clue to what's cool and what's not cool. And like I said, bro, they're catering to the marks. They're catering to and bro, I guess they're doing that to get over with the marks, because then they can go on social media and they can read about how great they are and how great NXT is and how, bro, meanwhile, nobody gives a shit. The rest of the world doesn't give a shit. It's that old guard. Bro, I guarantee you there are young people in place. I will use Dewey Foley as an example. There are young writers in place there, bro, that the old guard should be taking under their wing. That's a spot I should be in. I would have like no interest in, bro. I'm going to be 60. I don't want to write your TV show. But what I could take is I could take the Dewey Foleys and these younger writers with the talent, and I can, put my arm around them and mentor them and walk them through the process. Bro, I did that everywhere I went. I did it at WWE with Bill Banks. I did it with Jeremy Borash at TNA. I did it at WCW. I did it with Matt Conway at TNA. Those kids are there, bro. The problem is the young guard, the old guard, protecting their spots. They put the fear of God in these kids. They treat these freaking kids like, jobbers, and these kids are probably scared to death and they're not going to talk up. So you've literally, bro, got 60-year-old men running the show that don't have an effing clue what is cool to a 25-year-old guy.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like everything you're saying makes total sense to me as someone who's been a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. I don't like to say that, I've never worked for professional wrestling. This is as close as I've ever gotten. So I'm not in the business, but we hear a lot, about whenever people do podcasts or whatever, they sometimes like to discredit you and your achievements. Why is it that is still happening today when you yourself and others have proved the things that you have done?
Because the marks don't want my style of wrestling. They don't want that style. They don't want characters. They don't want storylines. They don't want, sex. They don't want love stories. They don't want drama. They don't want suspense. They want fake match after fake match after fake match after fake match. Bro, I don't need to defend myself. The numbers do that. You could say whatever you want about me. You could have whatever freaking opinion you want about me. I don't give a shit. You will never erase the numbers. What drew professional wrestling to the masses? Real simple, bro. A cool show that everybody could relate to. Men, children, women, they could all relate to the show. That's why 10 million people are watching. So, bro, attack me all you want. I don't give a shit, because that's what makes people more upset than anything. You can't erase the numbers. The numbers are going to be there long after Vince Russo is freaking dead. It is going to say, guys, in 1998, 1999, 10 million people were watching wrestling. So it doesn't matter what you say. It's been done. The proof is there. If you don't want to listen, and if you don't want to adjust, and if you don't want to change, bro, you're hurting your business. You're not hurting me. My podcasts are doing fine, bro. I sell my podcast off of me. They're buying Vince Russo. They're not buying wrestling. They're buying me. So, like, personally, like, I don't give a shit. I just wish some people would answer my simple questions.
Absolutely. You mentioned sex. You mentioned drama, love stories, all of these things that used to be a part of professional wrestling. From the Attitude Era to now, we've went through some different things, and now we're in a more PC culture. Do you think that if you were given the chance today, that you would still be able to make all those things compelling in this kind of culture that's going on today?
Bro, that's got nothing to do with it. Like, bro, the television, bro, needs to be interesting and compelling. That's got nothing to do with the freaking rating, bro. Bro, I've watched G-rated movies that are interesting and compelling. Bro, my freaking 32-year-old son Will, I just had a conversation with him the other day, and he's freaking raving on and on and on about Toy Story 4. Like, come on, bro. That's got nothing to do with it. It just needs to be interesting and compelling. That's all it needs to be.
All right. Well, we've got stuff that we want to talk about too, as far as just your career, and the Attitude Era is something that your name is forever going to be attached to. What about the Attitude Era is like your crowning achievement? What do you look back on the most fondly, and just, and take yourself out of it for a minute, and as a fan, if you were watching that or whatever, and there were so many amazing moments, what are some of them that you look at and you're just like so proud of that you were the creator of?
Bro, I'm just so proud of our work ethic, man. Me and Ed busted our freaking asses, bro. We wanted every show to be better than last week's show. That was our goal every single week, bro. Like I said, again, people say whatever you want about me. Bro, I've not met the person that that was in my position that even 50% had the work ethic that I had. We busted our ass. We worked our balls off. We gave our blood, sweat, and tears, bro, to write the best show that we could every week. Bro, when my name is on something, that's what you're going to get. And that's what I'm the most proud of. Bro, I always, bro, so many people have taken me down in the wrestling business because of politics and because of bullshit and, all that freaking, all the politicians and all the bullshit in wrestling. And the reason being, bro, was that nobody could ever out freaking work me. That's the bottom line. And that's what I'm most proud of, bro. And I carry that same work ethic today on my podcast.
Absolutely. And speaking of your podcast, let's go over that a little bit. You've done some different things than other people. Not only do you do podcasts, but you kind of have your own podcast network with other people. How did that come about? And I mean, this feels like it was tailor-made for you to be able to do these podcasts.
Oh yeah, no, bro. It's it started like every other podcast, but it just grew and grew and grew. And how did it grow, bro? It grew through two things: consistency, being on every single day, busting my ass, paying my dues, delivering a good, consistent product for the last 5 years, bringing people on board that were going to be dependable and know what the hell they're talking about. So like I said, bro, it's the same work ethic I had when I was a part of the wrestling business.
We've seen so much that's been just terrible over the past, I mean, how many ever years, and across the board, really. I mean, I don't want to just pick on one company or the other or whatever, but like, if there was anything that you're watching nowadays, like we're talking about Bray Wyatt, The Fiend, or Dolph Ziggler, or Maxwell Jacob Feinstein in AEW or anything, are any of these people people that you would see, or any of these characters, things that you could potentially see yourself putting in the Attitude Era, just plucking them out
Oh
from
my bro,
today?
a ton of them, a ton of them. I mean, bro, I say it all the time. Bro, I could never get back in the wrestling, but bro, especially the WWE and like the people that are working there now. And bro, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like I'm talking about the Paul Heymans and the Eric Bischoffs and the Bruce Pritchards and the Michael Hayes. Bro, at almost 60 years old, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy working for those people. There's no way in hell I would ever work with those people again. No way in hell. But I say it all the time, bro. I would love to be working with some of these talents. I mean, oh my God, bro, if I was able to work with a freaking Bray Wyatt, if I was able to work with an Elias, I mean, there are so many people that I look at and I'm like, man, I wish they were around during the Attitude Era, just so collectively and together we could have gotten the absolute best out of them. There are a lot of people in that category, bro.
I feel like you're not a man to look in the past and live in the past as other people may, but you had a long and storied career in professional wrestling. Is there anything during that time that you feel like that you wish you had a second chance at, or something that maybe you regret that maybe you could do, now you could have done better? Is there anything like that?
You want to know the truth?
Absolutely.
I would have never gotten in the business.
Really?
I would have, bro. I would have never gotten in the business ever. And I say that, bro, because of the people involved in the business, bro. They're not good people. I mean, bro, when you look at wrestling companies and you look at people that have been in spots for a very long time, bro, there's a reason why they're still in those spots. There's a lot of bad people in wrestling, bro. I was not one of them. I wasn't the guy selling programs when I was 10 years old, and I wasn't the guy getting Vern Gagne's coffee. Like, I wasn't that guy. I was a fan, bro. I was a television viewer. I was a husband. I was a father. I was a normal, regular guy. Unfortunately, bro, a lot of people that I worked with, I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you, were the scum of the earth. And I'm not talking about the boys. I am not talking about the boys. I am not talking about the women. I've always said this, bro. The talent in wrestling, they're blue-collar people, man. They bust their ass. They work hard. They play hurt. I have all the respect in the world for them. But on that management level, bro, I wouldn't wish working with these people on my worst enemy. And again, bro, if I could have changed anything, I would have choose another profession.
Wow. The Attitude Era, which is something again that is gonna probably, I don't want to write it on your tombstone, but that's something that you're known for. It's in your DNA. During the Attitude Era, you were going up against WCW and Eric Bischoff. It was ratings war. It was crazy times. Everything was happening and anything was happening. You were obviously in the WWF camp at that time. What was the feeling like when WWF finally broke through that ratings war, and you were there, and you got to see this kind of firsthand? Did people take a second to actually get to enjoy it, or was it just like, we have to just continue to keep doing this every week?
Yeah,
now?
bro, I can only talk for myself. Bro, I did not stop for a second to enjoy it. The week we beat them, bro, like, okay, bro, great. We got to beat them next week. And then we got to beat them the next week. I can honestly tell you, bro, I never stopped and smelled the roses. I could tell you right now, I wrote every show like it was my last show. Like I was never going to write. Bro, I'm a huge Janis Joplin fan. And the reason why I'm a Janis Joplin fan, bro, is she sang every freaking song like it was the last song she was ever going to sing in her life. And that's how I wrote the shows. Like it was the last show I was ever. And bro, I'm not talking about just the Attitude Era. I'm talking about across the board. That's why, like, bro, I have no regrets. When it came to my job, there's nothing I would have done differently. I would have done the same exact thing. I would have made the same mistakes that I made. But yeah, bro, we never stopped to smell the roses ever.
As a writer, I believe now. I please correct me if I'm wrong. That you got your journalism degree from the great state of Indiana.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
I'm a Hoosier myself. I'm a transplant. Now I'm here in New York. But today we know that it's not as simple. You kind of took it the hard way. You were a writer, and then you actually wrote a letter to Linda McMahon to become a part of the WWF magazine at the time. Other than just talking to aspiring writers, what is your advice for anybody, I mean, across the board that wants to get into a crazy business like professional wrestling today?
Bro, I tell them don't. People ask me all the time, I don't know, bro, if you think I'm being a dick or like, don't. I'm telling you, don't. I'm telling you, don't. It's a horrible business, bro. You like I said, bro, you've got these old timers, in the wrestling bubble, cemented in their way, bro. You're going to be miserable. I mean, my God, bro, you know how many talent are working right there right now? Miserable. We just saw Mike Kanellis yesterday, bro. There are miserable people there. I'm telling you guys, bro, as a writer, content is king right now. There are so many avenues to write for, bro. So many. Freaking Apple. Apple is going into business now, and Amazon, and bro, there are networks and streaming services out the freaking wazoo. Professional wrestling should be absolutely last on your list. I'm telling you, bro, it should be, because it's evil. It's freaking evil. Now, bro, you got to understand, I dabbled in Hollywood a little bit. So I dealt with some people on that end of it. I dealt with Bonnie Hammer, a network executive, USA Network. I dealt with those type of people. Bro, nothing compared to what you're dealing with in wrestling. Nothing like it. So I would tell you, bro, and I'm not being a dick, do something else, man. I'm just telling you.
So with that, and knowing that the business isn't easy and everything like that, we saw the very beginnings of the, whatever you want to call, ratings war or whatever that is happening between WWE and AEW, and you came out and said what you said about WWE congratulating AEW.
God,
why? I mean, and just because, again, I'm not part of the business, but why did you feel that was the odd move by WWE to do that?
Well, bro, it's not an odd move looking at them today. I mean, I would totally expect that from them today. Totally expect that from them. But, bro, let's go back 20 years when Vince McMahon was doing Billionaire Ted skits. I mean, come on, bro. Why aren't you doing Billionaire Con skits, bro? The fact of the matter is, bro, again, that is catering to the marks. Hey, guys, nah, bro, we're cool with AEW. Guys, you could watch both shows. Bro, it's embarrassing. Even Jericho said, I think Jericho used the word embarrassment. It's a total embarrassment, bro. Can you imagine freaking McDonald's putting over Burger King? Can you imagine? Yeah, like, bro, you got that there was that craze with that Popeye chicken sandwich.
Yep.
Could you imagine Chick-fil-A putting them over? Like, bro, like, what world do you freaking guys live in? Like, bro, they don't have a clue. The WWE, the easiest way to assess this is they have lost their way. Bro, they don't have a clue as to how they how they got the success from the Attitude Era. They don't have a clue. They don't have a clue to what did we do to be so successful during that time. They don't have a clue. They have completely lost their way.
Now, I'm saying this as a fan of professional wrestling, speaking as a fan. Is there any responsibility to the state of professional wrestling that we have to hold ourselves accountable for as fans? Because
Yeah, bro. If it sucks, don't watch it. I mean, really, bro, like I just see the same people complain about it week after week after week after week. And I'm like, bro, why are you watching? Bro, I'm a diehard San Francisco Giant fan. I've been a Giant fan. My father was a New York Giant fan. I've been a Giant fan my whole life. Bro, when we start the season and like, okay, bro, we're 25 and 45. I ain't watching no more game. It's over. Like, I'm not, you guys suck. Like, I'm sorry. I support you. You're my team. You suck.
yeah,
I am not going to watch another game. And I stopped watching the games. It's no different. I mean, bro, I watch it because I have to. Like, I don't have a choice. This would be the last thing on television that I've been watching. There is no appeal to me. There is nothing that interests me on the show. But yet I see the same people week after week after week. Why the freak are you watching it, man?
yeah, yeah. It's one of those things. I don't know if it's kind of as I grew up watching it. I grew up in the '80s watching it, and the Attitude Era was right where I was most vulnerable as a fan. That was when I started to see the light. And now I don't know if people my age at least are just holding on to look to see if something is going to change, if we're going to get something better. But I can't, and I can't speak for all the fans, but your career spans multiple companies. We mentioned WWF. You were in WCW and in TNA. Out of those three, where do you feel like you had the best platform to kind of just be you? Was it when you were writing for WWF?
It was when I was writing for WWF, bro, because Vince McMahon had my back. Like, I was the golden child, bro, and if you effed with me, you effed with him. Therefore, bro, that eliminated all the politics.
Yeah.
So I was allowed, bro, to 100% concentrate on my job because I knew if anybody effed with me, they were effing with Vince. So, bro, to have the freedom to just worry about your job and not have to worry about who was stabbing you in the back, who was politicking, who was positioning themselves, who was burying you, which was the case at, WCW, which was the case at TNA. I mean, bro, once Hogan and Bischoff came aboard at TNA, the entire company changed. I mean, the entire company, the attitude, the mindset, like everything changed. It was a family environment. We were all working together for the same thing. These guys came in, and I mean, bro, like it was game over. So thank God for Vince, I had the freedom to work to the best of my ability.
Now, we've seen some videos. Actually, it was pretty funny. I don't know who posted it the other day. It was on social media, but it was a video of you speaking with Mick Foley kind of about Dude Love.
Yeah.
And it was really neat to see that kind of one-on-one with, a writer taking that time with that talent. Was this kind of how you did it with everybody? Were you doing
absolute 100%, bro. 100%. It was a collaborated effort. It was me working with the talent. It was me getting their input. It was a 1,000% team effort. No question about it. That is a prime example of how I worked with everybody, regardless of who you are.
And we've seen and heard, obviously, with like wrestlers in the past, couple of years, CM Punks and things like that, who would get these scripts from the writers and they would rip them up or throw them away or whatever and go out there and want to say something. Did you ever have that sort of with, across the board? Did you have a Shawn Michaels coming up to you or a Rock or a Stone Cold or a Triple H, anybody coming up to you and saying, this is I'm not gonna say this. Like I don't want to say this, or did
Absolutely never.
it was different?
Bro, absolutely never. It was a respect. I had a respect for what they did. They had a respect for what I did. That never happened. Now, bro, I will tell you this. I left TNA in 2012. And bro, it was probably 5 years prior, maybe 2007, 2008. Bro, I started seeing this crop of young talent come in, and they were entitled
Mm-hmm.
and they were disrespectful and they knew more about wrestling than I would ever know in my I saw it, bro. I saw it with my own eyes. And bro, I got the attitude of you know what, bro, like you don't have an effing clue. You don't know what you're freaking doing. You never been over anywhere. You're a freaking child. But you know what? I'm not going to stand here and try to convince you what to do. Go out there, bro. Do whatever the F you want because you're going to fall flat on your face. That was the attitude that I took on. And, bro, I saw it happening. Where we are today, bro, this started happening about 10 years ago. That's one of the reasons, bro, why I won't get back into wrestling. I'm not going to sit there, bro, and try to convince people that what has already been proven is the right thing to do. Bro, I was working in indie scene here in Colorado. I was going through the same bullshit.
Yeah.
Vince, I'm trying to convince freaking 20-year-old independent wrestlers what they should do. Like, what are you freaking insane? Bro, that's why I won't do it. But I spent the last few years of my career literally trying to convince everybody, guys, this is the way you need to do it. This is the way it works. I got tired, bro, of trying to convince people. And I'll never do that again. Bro, go out there and do whatever the freak you want, but don't be surprised when year after year after year, you're going to keep losing the audience.
And I know you're a very busy man, and I want to, let you have your time. And I, again, just can't thank you enough for coming on and talking to us. But do you see any way with wrestling the way it is currently, even with the new Fox deal, the TNT, and all that stuff? Do you see any upswing momentum in professional wrestling, or do you feel like it's gonna be continually to go
Bro,
down?
the professional wrestling, bro, they had the world. They have managed to whittle the world down into a niche market. Bro, the wrestling audience is 2.5 million people, right? Bro, I'm telling you, when I saw the 4 million Fox, okay, I was like, okay, bro, now you know you got a potential to reach at least 4 million people. People that watched the Attitude Era and turned off, bro, maybe they get given it a second chance. Okay, you got the potential. But, bro, what I said, bro, tell me where you are in 3 months.
Yeah.
Because when you keep putting out this kind of product, bro, you're gonna be doing practically the same numbers you were doing on USA. Bro, never in my wildest dreams did I think 1 million people are gonna shut their TVs off in a week. Never. Never, never, never. But bro, it's a niche audience. So what do you got now, Jonathan? You got all these companies fighting over a niche audience. Bro, what's going to happen is one by one, they're going to start eliminating themselves because a niche audience is not going to be able to sustain 6 wrestling companies. So that goes back to where we started. Why aren't you attempting to grow the fan base? Why aren't you making an attempt to grow it makes no sense. And bro, I'm not talking about wrestling. I'm talking about business. It makes no freaking sense.
Yeah. We want to thank you so much for coming on. For anybody who wants to learn more about Vince Russo and the podcast and things that you're doing, what is the best way for people to get a hold of you?
Yeah, bro, there are 2 places you guys can look because I got 2 platforms. I got the Realm Network. Man, we do over a dozen shows a week. Disco Inferno is on there. Stevie Richards is on there. Vito Lagrasso. We do Castrating the Marks. So we got that platform. You can go to russosbrand.com. Check out that platform. Then we just added 3 new shows on Patreon. I'm doing a show now, an AEW show with just incredible, Peter Polanco, and he's freaking tremendous. You could check out Patreon at patreon.com/Russo TWC.
Awesome. Well, we want to have you on again sometime and maybe just talk about, anything but wrestling. But really, it's so nice to get inside your mind a little bit. And I want to thank you for the things that I saw as a kid that I really enjoyed. And I appreciate the work that you've put in. I'll just say that.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate that, Jonathan. And anytime, bro, I'd be happy to come on.